The pads were back on at Halas Hall, and one thing is for sure, this year's camp has been much more intense and physical than any year with Matt Nagy or Matt Eberflus. Ben Johnson is ramping things up, and this training camp is about as tough as you can get under the new rules. But our head coach is clearly upping the ante and setting the tone as the new man in charge of the Chicago Bears. This offense continues providing explosive plays and fireworks to the crowds at Halas Hall, and today was no different. There was also a huge development at the left tackle position as well. Today was the fourth padded practice, with tomorrow making number 5 and the ninth practice of camp. I'm going to quickly cover all the biggest takeaways and news. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First, for today's injury update, Jonah Jackson was back and running with the first team again. And we got a sneak peek at what might be our starting offensive line early in practice. Ozzie Trapillo at left tackle, Joe Tooney at left guard, Drew Dahlman at center, Jonah Jackson at right guard, and Darnell Wright at right tackle. I was hoping to get Jonah Jackson back to practice after he missed a couple of sessions earlier in the week. He practiced with the first team for about half the day, and then he took the second half of practice off. So it kind of looked like he was ramping up a bit still, but good to see him back in the swing of things. Both Ryan Bates and Jordan McFadden would get looks at right guard later in practice. Still no updates on Zay Frazier, who remains out with a personal issue, and then we're waiting on both Jalen Johnson and Shamar Turner to come back. They both are out of practice and are hoping to get back by week 1. In other news, free agent wide receiver addition Miles Boykin left practice early today. He got banged up during the 7-on-7 drills. Now, before I talk about Caleb Williams and the rest of practice, I want to give my update on the left tackle position, as all eyes have been on rookie tackle Ozzie Trapillo, and he is not disappointed thus far. Ozzie was again lined up with the first team to start off the day, and he took every rep with the first team in today's practice. Braxton Jones was with the second team, and he also got some third string reps as well later in practice, but he did not get a single rep with the starters. Meanwhile, it appeared that Karan Amagaji got a rest day today. It was Karan's first rest day of camp, but giving him a rest day after we have a day off is a bit interesting, and I'm just hoping there wasn't any kind of injury issue here. It's possible the coach's plan here is to give Karan Amagaji all the reps tomorrow and give Ozzie Trapillo a day off. That's something to watch tomorrow, but as we sit here today, is clearly the front runner to win this job. After I talked the last few days about how it looked like he was getting more reps than the other two guys, today again continued that trend. I believe today could have been a big development at the position, as Ozzie took every single rep with the first string, and he looks to be solidifying his status as our starting left tackle. I don't think the competition is over yet, but if the season started tomorrow, Ozzie Trapillo would be our starting left tackle. I do believe Karan will get a chance to compete over these next couple of weeks, and Braxton is still ramping up and is probably going to look a lot better once we get closer to the season. But as we sit here today on August 2nd, Ozzie Trapillo would be the man trusted in protecting Caleb's blind side. Now let's talk about practice. The offense got off to a fun start in the red zone drills. Caleb completed 3 of 6 back shoulder fades for 3 touchdowns. The best catch was Rome Odunze, going up and snagging a TD over Kyler Gordon. Huge play by Rome Odunze, who had an awesome practice. Luther Burden and DJ Moore caught the other 2 TDs. But then the offense went to 11-on-11 drills, and Caleb continued making plays. He completed passes to DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and Rome Odunze, but he fired an absolute rocket to Rome Odunze for a huge gain, one of his 3 best throws of the day. Ozzie looked really good in the team drills, especially in the 11-on-11s, and he won multiple battles against Dayo Odengbo. But fellow rookie Luther also continues making an impact in camp. He got a lot of reps with the first team today and made some big plays. Colston Loveland has also been involved a lot, and he's drawn a couple of pass interference penalties, because he's a guy who's almost impossible to cover by linebackers and safeties. He is simply a mismatch waiting to happen, and I can't wait to see him get more comfortable in this offense. He scored a TD with the second team today on a pass from Case Keenum, but then made a huge play. Once we got to 7-on-7s, Caleb got even hotter. He connected on TD strikes to both rookies, Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. Colston's was on a deep strike where he split two defenders, and it was one of the best passes of camp, but didn't end up being the best pass of the day because Caleb made an even better throw later. But he would also hit Luther Burden on a back shoulder fade in the end zone as well. Caleb ended this portion of practice with another TD pass, this time to DJ Moore. But then he took it to another level. His two big throws earlier were legit, but he made one of the best throws I've seen him throw since he's been in the NFL, rolling out and throwing an absolute dime to Rome Odunze downfield for a beautiful deep TD pass. This was easily his best throw of camp. Caleb split two defenders and threw an absolute rocket. He was hyped up after making the throw, and the crowd went absolutely crazy. Caleb continues putting things together and getting better with every practice, but the final 2-minute drill ended with the defense forcing multiple incompletions and getting a lot of pressure on our quarterback. He did have one nice completion to Rome Odunze before finishing the day. Some other notes about the first team offense: Ryan Bates did get a couple snaps at center, while Ricky Stromberg remains in the concussion protocol, and then Theo Benedict, the undrafted free agent from last year, he's been getting more and more reps with the second team at right tackle. That's something to keep an eye on. For the most part, the pre-snap penalties and false starts have been cleaned up, but there was another QB center exchange issue today. But overall, those pre-snap procedures seem to be getting better every day, which is about all you can hope for at this point in camp. Now let's talk about the defense. Dennis Allen showed off more three safety looks today, and I think it's going to be something that will be a staple in his defense. At times, he used Kevin Byard, Jaquan Brisker, and Jonathan Owens, but he's also had Kyler Gordon get reps as the third safety, and he spent some time at the outside cornerback position as well. At one point, he broke up a pass in the end zone, and he turned to the fans to try to get some love for the defense after he made that big play. But then later in practice, he blew up a run play to DeAndre Swift where Gordon exploded through the line of scrimmage and he made a big stop in the backfield. He continues having an awesome camp and he looks bigger and faster than he did last year. Today was also the best practice of camp for Dayo Odeyingbo. He beat Braxton Jones badly for a sack late in practice, and he had some great reps versus Ozzie Trapillo early as well, including a couple of times where he caused Caleb to roll out. He also got some reps inside on passing downs. Dayo seems to be getting more comfortable in this defense. When it comes to the cornerback 2 job, Tyreek Stevenson and Nashawn Wright continue battling, but Nashawn Wright is actually starting to impress people. He made more solid plays during today's team periods as the defense ended the day strong with multiple pressures on Caleb Williams and a couple of pass breakups. Josh Blackwell and Terrell Smith also got some first-team reps today as well. Our defense has been battling, but the offense has been the talk of the camp after 9 practices, something I'm really not used to as a fan of the Chicago Bears. But our head coach continues ramping up the intensity and doing everything he can to get these players ready for the regular season. Tomorrow's practice at Soldier Field is supposed to be one of the best of camp. My biggest question is, with how intense camp has been so far, and we have 2 joint practices coming up with both the Miami Dolphins and Buffalo Bills, how much are our starters going to play in preseason? Stay tuned because I'll be here to break all that down and more. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about Bears camp. Stay tuned, and until next time, bear down.